Hey guys, this is Paul Brown, founder of Wasson Watch Company, with you today. And today I want to talk to you about some of the things that we have going on and coming up in the future with our products. You're probably already familiar with the Wasson Automatic Field Watch. This is the watch that we released in 2022. We've sold about 1,000 of these so far. This is a very popular, very exciting watch. What we have coming up next, and hopefully we'll be shipping to customers here in the next couple days. It's available for pre-order on our website now, is the Dominion Dive Watch. So this is a prototype of that watch. I've been wearing it for months. I love it. It's 300 meters water resistant, sapphire crystal, rotating bezel with a carbon fiber inset. Of course, it's got luminous numerals and hands, and on the back, if you can see there, it's engraved with the Jerusalem cross. And on every single watch we make, we put a Bible verse reference on the back. For the automatic field watch, it was Micah 6:8. Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly with your God. That's what that's in reference to. On the Dominion Dive Watch, it's Genesis 1:28, which talks about taking dominion. God commanded man after he made him to be fruitful, to multiply, and to take dominion. And so that's just a reminder with this watch that, get out there and be about it. Don't just sit on your backside and wait for life to happen. Go and do what God has sent you out there to do. So that's what we have and what is coming out in the immediate future, but there's other things I wanted to talk to you about today. The first of which I don't have a prototype for yet, but we're working as fast as we can to get a more affordable watch option for you guys. So the field watch comes in at a little under $1,000 MSRP. They're on sale now. I forget what we have them at, but they are on sale. And but we're talking about a $1,000 watch. The dive watch comes in at just under $2,000. It's also on sale, especially for the pre-order. It's a pretty steep discount, so check that out on the website. But look, the whole goal when I started Wasson Watch Company was to build very high quality watches, and do so hopefully as affordably as possible. Look, there is some other great watches out on the market that are less expensive. There's plenty of great watches on the market that are way more expensive. But we wanted to do something higher end. At the same time, over the last several years of being in business, I've had a lot of people come to me and ask for a more affordable option. They're like, look, we love what you stand for. We love that you are open and bold in your stance for God, for Christianity, for biblical truth, for morality, for patriotism, for conservatism, for standing with Israel and refusing to give space for those who want to engage in anti-Semitic lies or whatever it is. We could go down the list: abolishing abortion, all those things. A lot of people out there, this messaging resonates with them, but it's like, hey, I don't know that I can spend $1,000 on a watch, or if I could, that I even want to. And so what we have that we're working on is a simplified version of the field watch, a little bit smaller. So the field watch is just about 42 millimeters is the dial size, which is moderately on the large side. It's not massive, but for some folks that's just a little bigger than they want to go. The more affordable version of this is going to be 38 millimeters. It's not going to come with quite all the same bells and whistles. This uses a Swiss movement. The more affordable version is going to use a Japanese movement, and there's actually going to be two versions. There's going to be an automatic version, and there's going to be a quartz version. I can't guarantee the pricing on this yet, but our goal for this is the quartz version to sell at $295 MSRP and the automatic version at $395 MSRP. So you can see going from $2,000 dive watch to $1,000 field watch down to, basically $300 and $400 field watches. That's a big jump. I don't have the exact timing on that, but I'm hopeful that we can release those and get those into people's hands later this year. The other thing that we've been working on for a while, and unfortunately I haven't made as much progress on it as I'd like, is a women's watch. So this is a version of the automatic field watch for women, and this is something I've actually had prototypes in hand for a while. There's just been a few factors that have prohibited us from going to production so far, but I'll show you some of the prototypes. So I have 3 different prototypes. This one's stainless steel. It's 32 millimeters, and so just kind of for scale, I put it next to the original field watch. It doesn't look, it's as I'm looking at this on my screen, it doesn't look that much different in size, at least to me, but it is. It's a significant difference. The field watch, the men's field watch is 42 millimeters. This women's watch is 32 millimeters. It's 100 meters water resistant. It also has sapphire crystal. It also has an automatic Swiss movement in it. It's a solid watch, but we have this stainless steel version, and we also have a 2-tone version, so that's stainless steel and gold plated, and sorry, we have actually two-tone versions, but one with a white dial and one with a blue dial. So those are the same size, and yeah, I don't know exactly when we're going to get those out. I'm hopeful that we can get those out this year as well, but I can't really promise that. There's a lot of different watches I want to make. I want to make a GMT eventually. You know, we may make a chronograph at some point. There, you know, the list goes on, but that's what we have in the hopper right now. And in the meantime, you know, the other exciting development with the Dominion watch and all these watches I'm talking about, the Dominion watch is assembled in the United States. And in the future, we're going to be assembling all of our watches in the United States. What does that mean? We're still getting parts from overseas. There are almost no manufacturers of movements, of automatic movements in the United States that work at scale and can provide the same kind of quality that we could get in a Swiss or Japanese movement. I wish that I could snap my fingers and create the production for that here myself. I can't. You know, we don't have the money for that. I don't have the connections for that. There's a lot of complexity that goes into that. Maybe someday Wasson Watch Company or another company will be able to get into industrial scale production of automatic movements, but we haven't gotten there. So yes, we get parts from overseas, but virtually everything that you own in your household, almost everything, is either made overseas, or if it's made in the US, it's typically made in the US with parts from overseas. So do with that with what you will. If you're like, no, I refuse to ever buy any watch, and I've never bought any watch before that wasn't fully made in the USA with all US parts, then hey, that's a standard you're allowed to have, and I don't begrudge you that. But I hope for the rest of you that are like, hey, you know, I just recognize the nature of the market for the way it is, that you recognize that we're working hard to move more of our production process to the US, and hopefully someday we'll be at a point where all of our watches are fully made in the USA. But again, we're not totally there yet. Anyway, I'm going to post this video, and if you have any question about the watches, you know, feel free to jump in the comments, and yeah, thanks. Y'all have a great day.